Hey bosses, welcome back to The Modern Boss. I am Bianca, I'm one of your co-hosts today, and this is where we get real about the boss experience, okay? We talk about the highs, the lows, and the lessons in between building a business.
So we're your hosts, Oksana and Bianca, two women entrepreneurs who know that behind every success story is a lot of strategy, a few breakdowns, and a lot of growth.
For sure. Today's episode, we're about to get into risk and reward, right? The title of today's episode is Scared Money Don't Make No Money.
Hey.
I just love that. It's such a good title. So basically we're going to talk about taking leaps, when to pivot, and how to not let fear hold you back. But also we're going to talk about that one big thing that we all need.
Okay.
Money.
And we'll also be touching on something that every single CEO has to face at some point, right? The fact that you're going to need funding for your business. And so, whether it's funding, decision making, how to recognize when pivoting is just procrastination in disguise, we're going to be talking about it all.
Yes, but before we dive into everything, you need to make sure that you're subscribed.
Click the button.
Please. Click the button on YouTube or on Spotify. Please follow us on these different platforms and support us, and comment below.
All right, let's get into it.
So as you guys know, our first segment is about talking your talk. So we go over the highs and lows and the wins and things of that nature that we've experienced this week. So tell me, Miss Oksana, what is your win for the week?
My win for the week was successfully integrating back into work life after taking vacation.
Vacation mode.
I was like, maybe I should extend this vacation this year.
Like sometimes you just like, should I just like not go back?
No, seriously. Like I had one of those moments. I was like, I don't know. Am I ready? I was like, but I have so much that's about to be going down. Let me at least ease my way back in this week, and then next week full throttle. So this was my easing back into it week.
Good.
And I think I'm easing pretty well.
Yeah. That's a hell of an ease. We filming.
But like instead of like it being one of those client heavy weeks, I decided to kind of take more of an administrative look at just refining things like my operating agreement, my bylaws, like just going through all those things, and just making sure that everything is updated and reflects like where my business is currently. So yeah. It was necessary, but it was my way of just easing back into things.
It's also nice that you were able to take that time and like you said, do that overview, because sometimes we get so much into the nitty gritty and the clients and and just that working. We forget the nitty gritty. And I think that's also a step that I need to take. It's like an overview step and look at the overall system and like refine and redefine everything. So
for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my, I guess it kind of was a theme though, because even like towards the end of my vacation, it was more so about like, self-care, decluttering and stuff like that. So I came back to business with that mindset of just, refining, decluttering, trying to see what's still working, what I need to change, stuff like that. So it was kind of like my my assessment.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what do you think is your low for the week?
My low was that I didn't want to go back to work.
I was going to say that. I knew it was like not getting off vacation. I
didn't want to come back. So yeah, I had to wrestle with myself a little bit with that. But actually, no, rewind. My win was the summit that I spoke at.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You can have multiple wins.
Yeah. I totally spoke at a summit over the weekend.
Right. So slow entry, guys, is what she said.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I spoke at a summit. Wow. Rewinding. And it was really, really great. It was a great experience, and it was for women entrepreneurs. It was faith-based, but it was really, really great, Nice. And so we all kind of just poured into each other and, gave important insights and things that we all needed. And it was a beautiful time.
You need that. Sometimes you need to be poured into.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Awesome.
All right, your turn.
All right, my win for the week. I do have multiple wins as well. One of them was decluttering the house.
Yes.
We got on the phone because me and Oksana haven't talked for like maybe 2 weeks, maybe like a week and a half, because she was on vacation, and also I was on vacation. I was I was out of town, then she was out of town, and so when I got back into town and before I left out of town, I was like decluttering, like major decluttering, to the point where I have like 4 or 5 bags of like donations and recycle things and things of that nature. And so it just feels like a weight is like it just feels like a weight is lifted. My space feels clear, and so that was a major win for me. because it was well overdue. Like I was just looking at the stuff and and there's more to declutter. I just I just had to stop because I had other things to do. But another win of mine is I am potentially collaborating with somebody on a webinar. So I'm interested in that. And I love collaboration. And she's super smart, especially in the AI space. And so I'm interested in seeing how that partnership, that collaboration will pan out. But it also has been motivating me to like expand on my webinars. Like I feel like I don't do them enough. Okay, like I don't do them enough. I don't do them actually at all, really. And so it's a great funnel piece, especially for entrepreneurs like us in the creative space. And so I think that I should get back into that bag, into my teaching bag. And that's also another win. I kind of kept having this vision of like what I want to not reframe, but like maybe refresh the business to be. And so I'm excited to explore that and develop that. And so
I love it.
Yes.
Let me know when you do the webinar.
I will. I mean, for yes. Sure. And my losses for the week, what would I say?
It sounds like you lost dead weight.
I did lose a lot of dead weight. I did also lose one project this week. Just because the budget didn't align, which is,
it's a part of business.
It's a part of the business. And so that was probably one of my losses, but like, I know that my team was looking forward to doing it. And so that was kind of like I hate, like you have to be the bearer of bad news. You're the bearer of good news, but you're also the bearer of bad news. And so it was like, I know we were looking forward to this, but unfortunately we got canceled. So that was probably my loss for the week, realistically. But other than that, it was a great week.
Well, that's good. That's good. So it sounds like we had some similarities in our time.
For sure. Oh
my goodness, between the decluttering and all those other things. So that's pretty cool.
So before we move on, we would love to know, what's your biggest win and what's your biggest loss? Like, don't hesitate to put it in the comments. Like, we want to know what's going on with you, what's going on with your business. And even if you don't want to tell us your wins or your losses, just tell us about your business, because you never know who you will meet in the comments.
That part. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on a little bit now that we talked our talk. So let's talk about this Scared Money Don't Make Money topic today, right? Please. So we're going to dive into the mindset behind taking risks. And so we're going to talk about fear in business. So there was a recent LinkedIn study that actually showed that 67% of women entrepreneurs admit to avoiding big financial risks because of uncertainty. So why do you think, Bianca, that women especially struggle with risk taking?
Wow. I mean, I think I think mainly a part of it is conditioning. Like we weren't taught to take risks. We were taught to like follow the path,
seek security, basically.
Literally our whole lives were about seeking security, from getting a partner,
marriage,
to becoming a mother,
financial security,
going to school, getting a degree, going into government jobs or something very secure, medical
field,
law, like whatever the case may be, to be secure. So I think that in this new age, in this new wave of us becoming entrepreneurs, right? Because it's been a mass shift.
Yeah, for sure.
Like women entrepreneurs. And I think within that shift, it also requires our mind to like also take a massive shift.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to seeking security and taking out, for example, a major loan, or taking quitting your job and going all in on your business. Is not normal to us in our, to most of us.
Yeah.
And so I think that plays really big into us staying small. But I also think that there is also a little bit of lack of knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. I'm like, I can't think of a single area of my life where somebody sat down and taught me how to take a risk.
Yeah.
I was like sitting here trying to rack my brain, trying to think, like, has anybody ever taught me how to take a risk?
No.
No.
And when you do take the risk, you're called crazy.
Right, which I'm fine with, but yeah.
Well, now, but like before you took it, it probably was something that you thought about, and you were like, oh, well, you know, people probably gonna like look at me different, whatever. I think that our public perception, what people perceive us as, or judgment, or whatever the case may be, I think is also a major factor into
for sure
why we're not pursuing certain things as well. So
yeah, that's a very good, those are all good points.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what first came to mind. Like as you were talking, I'm just like, has anybody ever taught me how to take a risk?
No, because who would have taught us? Like our parents,
right?
Our parents literally came into, I mean, we both have immigrant parents.
Yeah.
So our parents came into this country literally seeking security.
Mm-hmm. And a better life.
And a better life. And like, also they had to have so much security, that enough security to pass it along. So they couldn't take too much of a risk. I mean, it was already a risk coming to this country.
Right.
That's what I'm
saying. That was the risk.
That was the risk. Yeah. The risk was like, okay, I'm gonna move my entire life to a new country that I don't know the language, I don't know the laws, I don't know anything about this country.
That's true.
And just figure out my way.
So that was the risk, the hurdle that they had to face, right? And so now that we're in this land where they have, you know, put us in a place where we have different opportunities, I guess our risk, our hurdle, our mountain to climb is, you know, taking entrepreneur risks.
Right.
You know? And so it's not to discredit the risk that they took at all, but it's just understanding, like, you know, the mindset that they had when they got here, because it was like, that was my life risk, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, my mom took a risk. She started her own business, despite what anybody else told her. Like, she told me stories of people telling her not to do it, or they won't support her, or whatever the case may be, and she still did it. And to this day, like, my mom is now starting her baking business. Like, like just the other day, she was like baking cookies, and she was like, how much am I gonna charge for this? I was like, you need a notebook, like, you know, get back to your bag, girl. You used to be a business owner, like, you know the vibes. And so she was like, how did I get back here? I was like, it's in you. This is who you are. Like, yeah, you've done the corporate thing for a while, but this is who you are in your core. That's awesome, so my mom did take a risk. So I did see that example, but I don't think that I knew how much of a risk it was, because it was just my everyday life. Yeah. I didn't think it
was your normal.
Yeah, it was my normal. I didn't think of like, oh my gosh, nobody else is doing this. Like, I didn't have that concept of like,
that makes total sense.
Yeah. But like you said, nobody ever really teaches us. So when do you think that you realize that taking a risk is necessary for growth? Like, what was like a point where you thought, I'm gonna have to jump off that ledge?
When staying the same becomes more harmful than trying something new. I think that's what it takes for a lot of us. Like, you have to get to that point of frustration or discomfort or burnout before you start seeking other avenues and other ways of doing things. I know for me, for sure, like I've shared this with you before about how, you know, burnout was what helped me find my blueprint. Because I was like, yeah, this is not working.
Right.
I don't want to do this anymore and ever again. So I need to figure out a better way. And so that's what kind of shifted me out of my comfort zone that I have developed within the risk. And that's the thing. Ooh, that's a whole other topic. You can develop comfort zones within risk taking.
Oh, for sure.
That's a whole other part of the topic.
Which is something you probably don't consider.
Right.
Because when you take let's just say the risk is entrepreneurship, right? Because it is.
Right.
You become an entrepreneur in whatever facet, whatever way that you think entrepreneurship looks to you.
Exactly.
You get into that, and then you realize there's so much more to being an entrepreneur than meets the eye. Like, saying that I'm an entrepreneur is just this, like, it's barely scratching the surface.
Congratulations, you started the journey.
Right. Getting an LLC is chump change. Like, it's not even the fact, you know what, and this is like, This is what I love having these discussions, because you know those people who like help people build LLCs,
like the formation experts, business formation.
And this is no shade.
Yeah.
I believe that some people need the help, right? Because maybe you can't do it. But the fact that like, I think that little step of like forming an LLC, getting an EIN is such like a minor step in the overall scheme of building a business that I feel like sometimes I look at it like the only reason why you're probably paying someone to help you do this is because you don't know that there is so much more that you have to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I did it on my own, but like when you see people like, you know, pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this particular service, which I'm not saying is not necessary.
Because it is for some people.
It is for some people. But I see it sometimes and I realize like, girl, that's just the beginning.
She's like, that's a drop in the bucket.
It really is.
And I get what you're saying. Like, I totally agree with that. Because like in the grand scheme of things, like that's just like literally the first step.
Yeah.
Right? Literally the first step. But I think depending on, you know, you have to, I think about life in stages, like next stages of growth. So for that stage, it can be a major step for somebody because it's like, nobody else is doing this in my life. I'm the only one that's taking this risk.
And for a long time, there was no blueprint of how to do it.
Exactly. So that can be a huge risk at that level for somebody that's just getting started, you know? But then once you get in that door, and you start to actually move and learn and grow and like see what else is really out there in business, like there's so many other levels of risks to take in entrepreneurship. And I think that for me was one of the big like, oh my goodness moments, you know?
Yeah. And it changes at every level.
Yeah. So let's talk about this though, because I remember what risk was like for me in my business. And, you know, like I said, for me, it was just the fact that I didn't want to stay the same anymore. So I was willing to not have it all together. I was willing to make mistakes, to figure it out. But, you know, like, especially when you don't have like consistent income while you're making those changes, that can be really scary, right? But it can completely change your life at the same time. So my question for you is, how do you make calculated risks? And let's add to that, but do you think that there's a difference between calculated risk and fear-driven hesitation? And what is that difference? What does that look like?
So taking a calculated risk looks like betting on yourself based on numbers, based on either your finances, like what you've been making, what you project to make, right? Because you do have to look at your projections. You have to look at what's coming up and what's happening. You have to be very calculated in looking at
what's working,
your expenses, right? And so if you know, okay, if I put this amount of time in, I know I can make my rent. I know I can make my utilities. I know, you know, so there's just like a calculation that you have to do on taking that risk, that financial risk of like, maybe it's not going to be super consistent in profitability, but I should be able to break even, you know, if I do these things, right? And so that's a calculation, that's a calculated risk in itself, right? Because taking the leap of entrepreneurship is actually accepting that it's not always going to be a graph that's going upwards all the time, right? It's gonna be a down, it's gonna be around, it's gonna come up, it's gonna drop all the way down, and it's gonna shoot back up. So it's like you have to know how to ride the wave. Especially if we're focusing on finances, right? Because scared money don't make no money. So not only is it like making a calculated risk, but also making calculated savings.
Yeah, that's a big part of it too. You gotta have reserves.
Because there will be days that the profit is not profiting. The profit's not profiting.
Sure.
And you have to have some sort of reserve to take you through those dry seasons.
Hope y'all taking notes.
So that's major calculations. Also considering systems that you could probably sunset or you know, whatever the case may be, depending on, and systems that you have to bring on, or you know, whatever the case may be with making money, because also you have to invest, right, into the business. So it's not only about just getting the money, but you also have to take that money and
you have to steward it
and pour it back into the business so that you can increase it and then make it more. And so just having those pillars, and well, I would most likely say like that kind of mindset, or that kind of insight, knowing what really is the overall picture of like taking this risk.
That's what I was thinking too. Because to me, when I think calculated risk, right, I'm thinking, okay, when I look at everything that could possibly happen by taking this path, am I comfortable with taking this loss?
Right.
And am I motivated enough by what's on the other side of this win?
Right.
You know, so that's what it is to me. It's just counting the cost.
Right.
You know, like, am I willing to do it, and am I comfortable with what I'm risking?
But also, do you have the mindset of never giving up?
Yeah. Can you be resilient and persistent and keep pursuing that, even if you don't get it the first time?
Because you may not get it the 5th time. You may not get it the 12th time.
Listen, so many success stories, and they had like the 111th time or something. Like you got to keep going.
How many celebrities have you heard, or how many celebrities do you know, or not even celebrities, let's just talk business people that are saying like, I've been homeless, or even we were talking about the Diary of a CEO's podcast, right? And he was talking about being in his house, one mic, and now now his business has been valued at 4.1 million or something.
Millions.
Something that you can't even fathom as like a production. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even thinking to that scale. But the resilience, like, you have to build up this resilience. And later on in the podcast, we'll talk about pivoting. But everything is about seeing what's in front of you, really assessing it all, and seeing, do I have the resilience? Can I financially do this? And do I have a plan to move forward? And I think that's the best way to calculate your risk.
Yeah.
Now the fear, what was it? The fear heightened?
The fear-driven hesitation.
Now, fear-driven hesitation is very real.
I've been there. We've all been there at some
point.
think
it comes in waves. I feel like fear, hesitation, like once you get over one, there's another one holding, you know, and God doesn't make us to fear. However, you know, this is not a preachy podcast, but sometimes that's the only way that I get over it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, he did not create me to worry. You know, like, he did not create me to fear.
I know,
like,
that's right.
So that's like, that song is like, okay, he didn't create me to fear.
At all.
Like, what do I fear?
Yeah, he hasn't even given you a spirit of fear. So where did that come from?
Who taught me that? You know? And so, I mean, and if you don't believe in a higher being, but there is some sort of like grit or resilience, or, you know, something that should push you to look past the fear, because that's not going to get you anywhere, to be honest. Like, fear, hesitation, it's a very real thing. And like you said, we face it, but you have to find something that will push you past that.
I like what you said, see beyond the fear. I like that, because it's like, in facing it, what gives you the courage to face it is what you see beyond it.
Exactly.
You know, so that's a really good point.
But see the win, see the growth, see the person who you will become past that particular thing, past that particular fear. See
the possibilities,
the endless possibilities,
and the end result. Like, what are you really working towards? That's what you have to keep your eyes focused on, the vision, you know?
So really, you need to ask yourself, like, what is the real risk of staying the same?
That's the big question. Like, if you did nothing different today, what is that costing you?
It costs a lot.
Well, what is that costing you in the long run?
Yeah.
It could be costing you clients, opportunities, income, the ability to scale, to build sustainably.
Right.
Like there's so many different things. It could be costing you your own peace of mind and having that mental space to be free and to be creative. Like there's so many things that it can cost you, but you have to be willing to sit down and say, okay, what is my life currently costing me? And what am I going to do about it?
Right.
You know, that's where the real change happens.
And how am I going to invest in my dreams?
Yeah, like how am I going to make sure this happens for me? Because nobody else is going to do it for you.
Yes, so you're going to have to get them finances together, girl.
Mm-hmm.
But as we talk, I want you guys, if you guys are listening in, right, I want you to take a second and write down, what is the risk of staying the same? Yeah. Put it in the comments. Let us know, because I know the risk of staying the same for me has been weighing on me a lot lately.
Okay.
I think it's a reason right now I'm in a fitness challenge. I think it's a reason why I'm so focused in this challenge. And it's a period of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because you're literally shedding and grieving and leaving and transforming a version of you that you've been used to.
Yeah, and that you can't take with you anymore.
You cannot take it with you.
Ooh, cha.
It's rough.
It's hard. It is hard to do that. And I love that you mentioned the grieving part, because there is a grieving process to it, right? Like, dang girl, you can't come with me no further.
Like, girl, I'm so sorry to tell you, but like we have to
this ain't working.
Part ways.
I'm sorry.
It's like a breakup in a sense.
It's not me, but it's me.
It is me. It's not me, but it is me though.
But it's me.
Like, it's really hard.
It is.
And it takes years. Like, I mean, sometimes people can wake up and be like, nope, no more, done.
Right.
Out of there.
But even that was a process before you made the decision, you know? But like there's an internal process constantly happening, you know, until you finally get to that point where you're like, okay, enough is enough. Like I'm tired of living this way. And you do something about it. And I think that's what it takes for a lot of us. We just got to be tired of living that way.
You have to be tired.
Yeah. Because when you're really tired of something, you do something about it.
Oh, for sure. When you're tired, you're like, you know what? I can't even do this no more. Like I can't keep making the same product and it sit on the shelves for months. Yeah. I can't keep, you know, saying that I'm going to go networking and don't do it. I can't keep saying that I'm going to take out a loan to invest in my marketing and not do it.
Right.
And not actually have a plan. I can't keep saying that I'm going to create a plan and not do the plan.
I can't keep saying I'm going to build business credit, for example, and I'm not doing anything to build the business credit. Like there's so many different things to do. Right.
We can go down the list.
Literally. But since we're talking about funding, I'm trying to think of like funding examples.
Funding
you know?
things,
but
yeah,
man, like it's real. It's a real journey that every single person and entrepreneur goes through in some way, shape, or form. So, but yeah, all good points.
Yes, but let's go ahead and move into our next segment, which is funny that it's called pivoting because we're about to pivot. So when pivoting becomes procrastination, which we kind of just talked on a little bit, but let's get into this buzzword, right? Everyone's pivoting, but sometimes they're just avoiding commitment. So where do you think that when pivoting is a strategy versus when it's just fear disguised as refining?
That's a good question. I would say just off the top of my head, like, you know, it's strategic when it's purposeful. You know, I think a lot of times, sometimes we'll like use pivoting as a way to avoid what we actually need to face and what we actually need to deal with. So it's like, well, I'm not willing to stick this out and see it through. So let me just try something different because I'm tired of trying this.
I totally, you know, those people, no shade.
It's the disclaimers for me.
You know those people that you're like, wait, one day you was doing this, and then the next day you're a carpenter, and then the next day you do taxes, and then the next day you fix tires. Like, it's like, girl.
Doing everything for everybody. All things to all men.
That sounded wild.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, like, literally like the pivot, like they pivot a little too much, and it's like, how can I trust you to do anything? Because you're not perfecting anything.
Yeah. So that's another thing too. Like if you're not consistent with anything, you can't build trust and credibility.
No.
You know? So I think, yeah, that's the main thing for me. Like if it's an intentional, purposeful pivot, especially like if it's something where like I'm in the same industry or I'm in like the same vein, but I'm just pivoting in a way that actually serves my market better, or that, you know, will help me to scale better, then that's one thing, right? That's strategic. We need that. Okay. But completely changing your mind every 5 seconds and calling it pivoting, that's not what pivoting is.
No, that's giving up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool. I mean, you know, some people it works for you.
And
sometimes people need that to find like the thing.
Right, and that's cool. Like if you need to explore, then just explore, but you know, don't call it a pivot, just say I'm exploring.
Right.
You know, because I think there's a difference for sure.
Right, and there's a lot of people who are multi-hyphenate.
Oh yeah. Hi.
Hey.
And the OBS.
So pivoting or changing or starting something new is not foreign.
Right. But we're talking about like quitting one thing and then starting something else, and then quitting one thing
and then another website, another website, and it's like, girl, what happened to that cookie business? Like,
I think, if you're having like 5 different titles within a year, then maybe there's some work that needs to.
You're a scammer.
Some foundational
because you're running from something.
Foundational work needs to happen there because we need to get some clarity.
For sure. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so shifting directions, man. Shifting directions. That's one thing. So let's talk about shifting directions. That's the difference, right? Because we've shifted directions before and stuff that we were doing.
I mean, we've shifted directions in the Boss Collective.
Yeah, sure have.
That's how we got here.
And it's working.
Hey.
So, you know.
Hallelujah.
But yeah, so there's times when that's going to be necessary. Like, you know, I gave my example earlier. Like for me, it was pivoting from focusing on brand design to focusing on brand strategy.
Yeah.
You know, so same vein, but taking it deeper and in a more, you know, executive and corporate direction than I was before, because that's more scalable.
Yeah. I mean, you have to look at what will make you money, essentially.
Yeah.
Like it sounds, I think that when we say the word money, for some women, it's like, oh my God, you're talking about money? Like, but literally that's what business is made for.
It has to make a profit or it's not really a business. That's what even the IRS,
a little free hobby.
Yeah, even the IRS will classify you as a hobby if you don't make a certain amount of money.
Exactly.
So you gotta
make money.
You gotta profit, you know?
Yeah. And so that's where the pivot lies, when you look at your systems and your processes and your effort and your marketing and your branding, and you're like, maybe if I change this thing, I will see a difference in outcome.
Exactly. So it's more of like a refinement than like starting over.
Yeah.
You know?
A refinement, a refresh, you know, redirection.
Reintroduction.
Listen,
all the re's.
All the re's.
All the re's. But yeah, so I think that's the main difference. Yeah, I think that puts it in perspective for sure. But yeah, so let's think about this then. Let's apply this, right? How can women CEOs hold themselves accountable to actually take action instead of perfecting everything first? I think that's when it gets more so like into the procrastination, right? When you have to perfect everything before you actually launch or before you move forward or before you start. So what do we do about that?
How do we hold ourselves accountable to take action instead of perfecting everything first? You know what's funny is because I'm an overthinker.
Really?
What? You can't think. You can't tell.
I would say an overthinker. I wouldn't call you an overthinker.
Well, I don't. Public facing, the overthinking doesn't happen in conversation, but in my mind, I am overthinking. Like,
got you. Okay.
I am constantly like running. I mean, you can tell when I talk about ideas or when I talk about different things that I will like, even when we say certain things, like immediately my mind will say like, well, how come that, like I always am like,
okay,
kind of
I just think of it as being thorough, not necessarily overthinking.
Yeah, but sometimes it could hinder you from like not actually making a decision.
I see what you mean.
You know, so I suffer from, you know, that as far as like not necessarily being perfect, because I don't find the need to be perfect. I think that, I mean, there's a lot of men-led businesses.
Yeah.
That.
I mean, understandably so, because we didn't really have the ability to have businesses until like what, a little bit, like over 50 years ago.
Not even, probably. I don't even think it's
like
that.
It hasn't been that long.
No.
So it's definitely male dominated.
Right.
Or at least it has been.
I feel like we got the right to vote like 50 years ago.
Right. So it's like
like
we're just getting out
we're
of
new
here.
to this, not true to this. It's crazy.
Woo.
But no, I was gonna say there's a lot of male-led businesses that are not perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that with women, there is a level of perfection that we are taught to have, because we
got to be all things to everybody. That's
we
what
have
I'm
to
saying.
be all things to everyone, but we also want to be chosen. So there is a level of, do they like me?
Performance.
Yes.
That's the word I'm thinking, yeah.
Performance and public perception, going back to that, right? And what are they going to think of this?
Will it be received?
What are they going to say?
Yeah.
You know, I took this risk. I need everybody to understand that it was a good choice for me. Like, just having such a idea of the opinions of others really shaping what you do.
Yeah.
And it really does not matter.
In the long run, it really doesn't.
No.
I mean, in the moment, it can feel like that, though, right? Because
no, it does.
You need somebody to receive what you're saying, to do business with you, or to, you know, whatever the case is. So I understand that pressure.
For sure.
But I think once you start getting into performance mode mentally, then it starts to show in the way that you show up. So it's finding that balance between like, okay, I'm just going to show up and I'm going to do my best to be myself.
Right.
And, you know, of course, still, you know, present yourself professionally.
Of course.
You can be professional without having to be overly polished, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yes. And and even if you think that you're reaching a level of perfection, there will be a flaw.
Yeah.
Like.
But that's what makes us human. That's what makes you memorable too sometimes.
Exactly. Like, how do you pick up that flaw and like really
Own
like
it.
turn it around? Yeah. Exactly. And like no amount of planning, no amount of like documentation or organizing will matter, because you're gonna still, like, something's going to go wrong.
Right.
Like, we are a testament to it. Okay. So we can give you many of examples of us being very thorough and very organized, and
still having hiccups and things that pop up.
You get to a venue and they forgot you're having an event that day.
Like, you know, things like that.
Right? Or you get to an venue and they say they're not going to have your event that day. Right? So
we've experienced both, haven't we?
We've had both. Okay, and that's with.
Like this is about to be a book. Like, we need to write a book about our adventures.
Listen,
for sure.
we take all these podcasts and create a workbook.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, like, so your question is, how do we get past that, or how do we?
Yeah, like, how do we hold ourselves accountable to making sure that we are moving past that and we're progressing and not, you know.
I think the biggest way to get past that would be to get out of your own way and stop overthinking the opinions of others, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Right.
And again, this is not a preachy podcast, but God told you to do something, do it. He will pave a way, and who's supposed to be working with you will work with you. And there are people waiting on you.
Yeah. You gotta put yourself out there.
If you have a dream, if you have a desire, if you have an idea that is so reoccurring that you are taking a risk to either start a side hustle, quit your job, invest money, invest your time, then there is a reason for that, right? And so there's going to be people who are waiting for you. There's going to be people who want to invest in you, who want to see you win. And as you develop this product or this service or this business, there's going to be, I call them little angels along the way, who help and boost you and mentor you, and like you don't even see them coming, but they come into your life and they guide you, or they tell you like, hey B, that I was actually misspelled on your website, you know, like some, you know, so because it's not as big of a deal as I think that we really make it. And sometimes we overthink how big of a deal it can be, and it really is just about taking the next step, and then taking the next step, and then finding the next step until you get to that win, to that goal, to that end line, and creating the end line that you want to see within the business. So I think that that's how you keep yourself accountable, is like take all those ideas of what you think this is supposed to be and throw it out the window, and focus on the task at hand, complete it, and then go to the next task, complete it, go to the next, like it's a rinse and repeat cycle in entrepreneurship. If you talk to anybody in business, they will tell you after that task is completed, there's another task that magically appears.
Every time. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think there's a time to think big picture, and there's a time to just focus on exactly what needs to be done right now in the moment. So you have to learn how to prioritize. Right. And we talked about setting goals. So yeah, make sure that you are setting achievable goals, right? Goals that are digestible, that you can actually get done within the week, and just keep doing that step by step. Focus on what you need to get done next, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And then after you get those accomplished for the week, take a step back and look at how it applies to the big picture, and then zoom back in and get the next step.
Right, but that's even like breaking down the big picture, right?
Right, exactly.
So I mean, we have an accountability group, our momentum calls. That's like literally us coming to break down the big picture, because the big picture can seem so overwhelming.
It can. That's why I said it's so important to like know how to zoom in and zoom out. You know, because it can overwhelm you if you're just like constantly looking at the big picture, because you're like how, where, when, why, and all the details that you don't have yet. But as you make those little steps and you focus on those little tasks, more of the puzzle comes together, and you can see further, and you can actually see how everything is coming together and working together.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's about putting the pieces to the puzzle. I guess that's a great analogy.
Yeah, so every single task that you complete is another piece until you see the full puzzle.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Thank you.
Because I can envision that. Because like the whole goal is like the piece, and then
so this piece goes here and then there, and then by the time you're there, the whole vision is the completed puzzle.
And then you step back and you're like, it's even more beautiful than you thought it could be.
Exactly.
Right?
And you know that you took your time and worked on every single piece, and that makes it even more beautiful.
Yes. And it changes you along the way. It helps you become the person who is supposed to accomplish that thing.
And it goes back to what I've said. I think I've said this on here before, but don't just idolize the destination, but learn how to embrace and appreciate the journey.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Because if you don't appreciate that journey, it's going to be miserable when you get to that goal.
Exactly. You know, and that's why I think, like I was saying, once you know that you did the work to put all these pieces together, and it created such a beautiful puzzle picture, you take so much pride in that, and it's so much more beautiful and meaningful because you took your time and did all the steps, you know?
Yes. So take the steps, you guys. Take the steps. And whether that's applying for a grant or applying for a loan or investing into your business from like the paycheck that you get, setting aside some money, take the step. I mean, it's terrifying. We're not going to say that it's not. But at the end of the day, it's either you don't do it or you do.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I'm sure you're going to think about it.
Yeah, I would rather take a risk than to live with regret.
I mean, say what you said. Listen, I'd rather take a risk than live with regret, knowing that I didn't do what I said I was going to do.
For sure. That should definitely end up on one of our quote graphics.
Yeah,
for sure.
Good. Noted. But so let's get into our next segment. Okay. This is about funding options for CEOs, right? Let's get to the money. So now let's talk about money. In a 2024 report, which is just last year, well, technically 2 years ago when this comes out, Forbes showed that only 2% of venture capital goes to women-owned businesses, which is insane. Because like two.
At first, I thought I had to like blink. Like I was over here like
2%.
2%.
Not 20.
Not even 12.
Damn.
2%. That's wild. 2%.
Right. Remember the statistic I told you earlier is every dollar invested into a woman-owned business, they double that dollar or double like whatever is invested, they usually double out the output compared to men-led businesses. So the fact that there are statistics that show that investing into woman-led businesses actually produce double of what was invested,
that's pretty intense.
but yet only venture capitalists have invest only 2% into women businesses. Why do you think that access to funding is such a challenge for women, even in this modern year? Like,
I mean, I would say, of course, part of it is visibility, like not nobody really knowing that you're out there or that your business is out there. That's definitely a part of it, right? But I also think back to what we talked about earlier with education. Like, we don't know how to get a lot of these opportunities.
Facts.
Like, there's a lot of businesses that don't know anything about how to get certified as a minority-owned business. A lot of businesses that don't know how to sign up for government contracting, how to bid on contracts, how to do any of these things. And so, or even how to write your own corporate contracts. You know, all these different areas where you actually can make bank, right? But we don't really have that education just as easily accessible or readily available to us.
Right.
And so I think that's why things like incubators and even, you know, some of the resources that the SBA provides as well, like with, you know, counselors and stuff like that, is so important, because you need people that can guide you through those steps and show you what your options are. So you're not just out here trying to fund your own business with your own money.
Literally,
right?
I agree.
OPM.
Other people's money, girl. And as we were talking, I'm like, well, there's people who probably don't even understand what venture capitalism is. True. Right? So venture capital is a form of private equity where investors provide capital to early stage, high growth potential startups and small businesses in exchange for ownership, right? So you do have to let go a little bit of your ownership, or a lot of bit of your ownership depending on the circumstances. But that is what venture capitalism is, right? And
think Shark Tank.
Yes. Think investors. And this, like, again, that's only 2% of them are investing into women-led businesses, and that's probably even less for minority business. Well, I mean, it might be more depending on how many men. But I don't know. It's just a sad. To me, it's just like a aggravating statistic. I mean, I know we don't have as much education or access to, you know, all of these funding routes or concepts of funding, but it's still like in these, like, we're in 2026, right? Like,
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It's crazy to think that, like, we're still fighting to get ahead, you know?
Yeah.
And so,
it's definitely, harsh part of reality.
Yeah.
But what funding routes do you think that a lot of women overlook or don't utilize enough of?
I think one of the biggest, and we talked to Arnisha, I believe her name is, grants.
For sure.
Grants. I think there's a lot of grants out there, but it is time consuming.
Yeah.
It's time consuming. It takes a little bit of focus. You also have to have had something going for you already for most of these things, right?
There is a criteria.
There are criteria that you have to meet. So sometimes small businesses don't necessarily qualify, or if they do qualify, they don't have the bandwidth to apply.
Or a lot of people are applying, so there's, you know, less of a chance for you to actually get the grant, depending on the type of grant that it is, right? Because other people are applying for it as well.
So it's competitive.
So, it's competitive, for sure.
I mean, I also think that, like, business credit as well as business loans are overlooked. Because, I mean, I think there is a mindset of, like, I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to have that. I don't want to owe
instead
people.
of leveraging
Yeah.
the debt.
Instead
Which
of
I can
like not
understand.
using all your money.
Yeah. Which I can kind of understand to an extent, like if you're not confident that you'll be able to make the money back in time to actually, keep up with those payments, I can understand why that would be a concern.
Right.
But it's definitely a mindset shift of learning how to leverage debt, and take out at least enough to get started, right? And then pay that back, build up your business credit a little bit, do what you got to do, so it just depends.
But it also, like you said, like not making enough to pay it back, it also requires you to have a plan on
Exactly.
how you're going to be investing this money into the business and like what is the return that you expect to see, right? Because if it's an investment, you have to have some sort of income producing activity that you're measuring, that if it's not working within a month, you're able to pivot,
adjust,
adjust or assess the risk, assess the target audience. So it does require a different level of planning, assessment, development, organization.
It does.
But also I think it requires a different mindset on the outlook of business. Remember, and a couple podcasts ago, we were talking about how like women kind of feel like the business is their baby.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, we talked about that. Make sure you guys watch that one.
So with that being said, I feel is a lack of development to businesses sometimes.
That part. And I think that's why a lot of, because people don't know this too, like sometimes like if you're in I don't want to say a startup, but if you're like in the earlier stages of business and you don't necessarily have like the first year of income or like, enough stubs, that require a business plan instead. So that way you have to write down and show them exactly how you're expecting to make this money back, which I love, by the way. But yeah, I think we need to make sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's as well in business, and that we have this kind of stuff together. Like, do you have a business plan?
Right.
Do you have goals written down? Do you know what it means to track your KPIs?
Right.
Like, do you know these things? And so that goes back to what we said with education as well. Education and preparation. You got to be prepared for these opportunities.
But I also think that another type of funding is like collaboration that we kind of overlook, right? Like,
That's true.
And I can give us as an example, right? There's been like, we're both in this business as partners. So the funding essentially is our time. And our efforts. But there's also been time where we've put our money into the business, and invested into the business. And so just like approaching business where you don't have to necessarily do it alone, is something I think that a lot of people don't really explore, or look to find people who will invest into them or collaborate with them. I think that that's also a major place where we kind of neglect as women. Yeah,
that's definitely true, because what you may not have, you can find a partner that has it, and you complement each other and help each other to win, So yeah, I think that's a very good point as well, collaboration for sure.
So tell me, did you ever have to fund something that was like scary for you and you were like not sure if you would pay it off, or like
my business?
Yeah.
My first business, yes. Yeah, I definitely funded that out of pocket. Don't think I'll be doing that ever again. But like to an extent, you're gonna have to put money into it, especially when you're starting out. But I definitely learned lessons from my first go at it. And it's not to say that I did bad either. Like like I definitely got 2 6 figures, and then I was like, this isn't working. I don't want to build 6 figures this way. And so yeah, I think those lessons definitely helped a lot for me. But that was what it was for me, was events for the business as well, and then the business itself. What about you?
Same. Business. A Girl with Style was built off the back of my paycheck. Like, I just took money from every paycheck and invested into another thing, and another thing. I do wish that I would have probably taken out a loan or something. It's a lot of pressure when you're bootstrapping, right? And it doesn't have to be. I think there's a fear of, okay, you don't pay it back, then it's like the world will melt. But it's really not that deep. I think we think it's deeper than it really is, right?
Yeah.
You can always bounce back. You can always, I mean, I'm not telling you to file for bankruptcy, but in the event that you need to,
the option is there.
The option is there. And like, I think there's a statistic of like super wealthy people and how many times they filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
There's
a strategy to that though. They're not just doing it. There's a strategy to it.
They're getting, I mean, we're not telling you to do this, and this is not financial advice, but they're getting.
You got all the disclaimers today. She's
you ain't finna come for us. Okay?
I love it.
They're getting money, investing it into a business.
Mm-hmm.
If the business fails.
And into assets. Let's not forget that.
If the business fails, oops. They're like, oh man, my bad. Dang.
Filing for bankruptcy.
File for bankruptcy. Start all over.
Which removes some of the responsibility for the debt, not all of it.
Right.
You know.
And then do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Until it works. And I'm not telling you to do that, but.
Yeah. And they know how to get bankruptcy off of their credit report too.
Mm-hmm.
That's another part too. So you note that.
Yeah. There's a lot of loopholes in this business world that I think we just don't know and that we need to learn. And so, yeah, I think knowing those loopholes or knowing those strategies and being okay with knowing that it is okay for you to do them and it's not taboo.
Right.
Or
it's not wrong for you to take advantage of a system designed for you to take advantage.
That.
I think that's the main thing.
It's not wrong for you to take advantage of
it. And the way I look at it is this, right? If I take the time to learn about it, I've earned the right to use the loopholes.
That's what these people, I mean, that's how they got to the places that they got to.
Just like, if you take the time, and that's the investment, right? You invested with education. So because I educated myself on this area and I learned the loopholes, I now am able to use them.
Right. So
guilt-free.
Use the loopholes, fund your business, do what you got to do.
Period.
But have a plan.
It all goes back to the planning and preparing. Preparation.
Go to a preppery, okay? But yeah. So let's talk about the practical tips, right? We have to leave the listeners off with some actionable tips.
Yes. Always.
So what kind of tips do you think that they should implement right now?
Okay. Tip number 1, create what we call a fear fund or a reserve. Right? So make sure that you're setting aside a portion of your profits monthly for strategic risks and investments, right? And for savings too.
Oh no, you need that.
Yeah.
That's different than the fear fund though.
And your savings should be separate from your tax savings because you're gonna have to save to pay back what you owe to.
No, you do need to have money to pay your taxes. So
make sure you budget that out in your monthly profit plan. But yeah, and before pivoting, ask yourself, have I fully executed the last plan or do I need to revisit that and, finish that first? It's another thing. Stop starting new stuff before you finish the old stuff. That's another one. And then my third tip would be practice pitching. Get comfortable with asking for the sale, right? Even if it's just to your friends and family, so that way funding begins to feel normal because it's a part of your normal everyday exercise and routine, right? Just like any other thing, like with working out or whatever, you build that muscle, it becomes easier and easier over time. So just practice with people that know you and love you and people that don't know you, right?
Yeah. And that practice, like, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like pitching yourselves, like even going into a bank and like asking, okay, what are the requirements? Like, what do I have to do?
Exactly.
Like not being fearful of the processes.
Yeah, get the information so at least you know what steps to take.
Right.
Right? So yeah, I think those are great tips. Any other tips on your end?
Yeah, my tips are focused around reframing your fear. So it's not about failure waiting to happen. It's about growth asking for proof, right? So it's all about making sure that you put in the time and the effort to reframe your mind and actually focus on your goals and figure out, okay, how will I fund this, and what kind of investment am I making into myself
Right.
or my business to become more profitable.
Gotcha.
And not being scared of failing, but being open to winning.
I love that. Okay.
The next one is auditing your decisions. Yes, you open your mind.
Might be open to winning.
Okay, audit your decisions. Are you making decisions out of fear, or are you making decisions out of strategy?
Yeah. For sure.
Let's even dial it back. Create a strategy.
Yes. Step one.
Because one, we're talking about scared money don't make any money, right? So even if it's investing a portion of your savings, your 401k, or taking out a loan or taking up a grant, there needs to be a strategy.
Okay. So basically, scared money is only scared money if you don't have a strategy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, one, yeah, because like once you get into the strategies, then you know where the money's going and what your expected outcome is. And when the outcome is reached, then you know that there should be a return on the money that you invested, right?
Exactly.
And that's all with the calculated risk, right?
Exactly.
So that's a part of my tip, but also the last one, which I think is major, is connect with other women entrepreneurs.
We got to talk about that one.
Connect and collaboration. You're not supposed to do this alone. You're not supposed to be alone.
Period.
Get into community, get into an accountability group, have conversations, because those conversations lead to resources. Those conversations lead to your next opportunity, your next client, your next collaboration, and your next win.
Facts. Yeah, 100%. Totally agree. And remember, scared money doesn't make money, okay? But strategic money and courage is what builds empires.
Ooh, I love that.
Okay, so bosses, I think that's pretty much all we have for y'all today.
I know,
but
it sucks to go.
If today's episode gave you a push, right? Share it with your favorite boss friends. Please share the message, because there's so many other women that probably need to hear this message as well. So share the love, spread it.
Yes, and if you are going to share, you might as well also subscribe. So subscribe to The Modern Boss, as you can find episodes about mindset shifts, money moves, and boss level conversations, which I know you want to have. So come over to the Boss Collective side, to the Modern Boss side, and subscribe.
Yeah, let's have some more of these boss level conversations.
Period. So until next time, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.